Okay. Hello guys and welcome to the another episode of Geeks Outta Nowhere. And for this episode, I'm very excited because we have here one of the we could consider as one of the stalwarts of Filipino professional wrestling or Filipino pro wrestling. We have here for this episode the one and only the Maestro, Cali Nueva. Hello.
Hey,
Hey, yep.
hey, Pot.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, of
Yeah.
course. And also, it's an honor to have you here in this episode for us here at Geeks Out of Nowhere and for
hmm
gracing us here. So, I think before I ask you some questions, I want to know your reaction about what happened yesterday, last Elimination Chamber.
Elimination Chamber. Oh
Yeah,
my God. It was so perfect. I was
yeah.
watching it alone because, like I mentioned earlier, before the call, I was a bit sick. So I
Mm,
watched it alone. But, like, it's just chef's kiss.
yeah,
Kasi we were led to believe now we were going to see Homelander Cody.
yeah,
Diba?
yep.
The entire thing, the teasers, and then just the way Cody rejected, kala mo yun na yun.
Yep.
And then John Cena went for the hug, and then the immediate facial
Yeah.
expression change. It was perfect. It
Yeah.
was perfect.
Absolute cinema.
Yeah, absolute
Absolute
cinema.
cinema.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that was how can we say the perfect uh heel turn for John Cena,
yeah,
considering that he's uh 22 years of being a babyface.
yeah. What was the
Yeah.
actual? Do you remember what the actual point was when heel Cena turned into a baby face back
Uh,
then?
I don't really know when he became a babyface, but
Uh-oh.
I think it started when he has a rivalry with JBL.
Ah,
Yeah.
I feel like it went back to WrestleMania 20 with Big Show.
Yes.
Nung nabuhat niya si Big Show. I think that was his main turning point. But that's just my theory. I don't know when exactly it started, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a while, 22
Yeah.
years.
Wow. Very long for a to preserve your career
Yeah.
as a babyface. But not as long as Rey Mysterio's.
I don't think he can ever
Yeah,
truly
you
turn
can
heel.
never
I
turn
don't think.
heel.
But to Dom, he's the ultimate heel
Yeah.
in his head.
Yeah, of course. I think yeah, Dom being the perfect foil in terms of character work for Rey Mysterio.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It
Okay.
would be so interesting though, but like
Yeah.
if somehow they write it such a way that Rey Mysterio becomes the heel and Dom becomes suddenly the face, that would be
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would maybe I'm just speculating that maybe they could just do it also on the tail end of Rey Mysterio's career.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
We could
Rey Mysterio still
possible.
he is considered to be in his prime, but
Yeah, yeah. Amazing guy. Yeah.
okay, maybe that's enough of our talk about what happened last Elimination Chamber. And if you're listening to this episode, you can also refer it. You can also go back listen to the previous episode that we talked about what happened last Elimination Chamber. But for now, we would like to concentrate more our questions to our guest. And let's get to know more about Cali Nueva. Okay? So let's start with how did you start wrestling? How did
Mhm.
you find out about our local wrestling scene here in the Philippines? And can you just bring us to your journey
Yes,
from
sure.
from the start until now, being Cali Nueva?
I feel like my first ever wrestling event was in 2017.
Mm.
PWR. I distinctly remember it being held at Fisher Mall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like the first wrestler I ever saw, Filipino wrestler live was si Billy Swade, I think. Tapos
Yeah.
kalaban ni si Sandata nun. Like,
Mm.
and that was my introduction into um, Filipino wrestling, Pinoy wrestling. And ever since then, like I've been watching their events, PWR, followed them on social media until a point na may nakita akong ad on social media regarding PWR boot camp. And so in 2018, I think I started training with them. Um, and I think it was just after 6 months, I was given a role to be one of the ninjas, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. Like we were a couple of ninjas that was just fed to Vlad Sinsik. So that
Mm,
was my first introduction into the ring and in ring performing.
mm,
But yeah, ever since I was a kid, kasi um, idol ko na sina Rey Mysterio, Jeff Hardy. So when I was given or when I saw an opportunity to do this actually for real and not not just in the playground, not just pretend, I took it and here we are now.
wow. Nice. Nice. How can I say? Nice narration of your journey
Yes.
from being an audience of the previous promotion,
Yeah.
then now you're one considered as one of the stars of of FPW. But let's go back to your beginnings. No? You were known as Arturito. Art R2. Sorry, R2.
I I was known as RT 2.0.
RT2 po. Ah, go me.
Yes.
Sorry, RT
Yeah,
2.0.
no problem. Because
Yeah.
Red, Oliera, then known as Redrick Mahaba, that was when he was just about starting to become really famous.
Yes.
I mean, as a comedian. So his gimmick during that time, that it was, he kind of went Hollywood in a way, in a
Mm,
Filipino kind of way, and he started hiring a PA.
mm,
And at first, that was Ref Gab Smarty.
mm,
That was the first RT, and then I was the second RT brought in to help them and Ralph. I'm not sure exactly what the story was,
mm.
uh, kayfabe wise or like in the show, but yeah, I was brought in to be Ralph's tag team partner back then.
Yeah. And I think the tag team of Ralph and Red there was named as MNTH. Yeah,
Yes, yes,
very
censored, very
censored.
censored. It's
But
not PG.
we'll get to know it more about it if we could have Ralph Imabayashi here on the show.
Yeah,
Maybe. But
just send him
uh
an invite, of
yeah,
course.
of
Yeah.
course. Yeah. And also I think RT 2.0 started also as a heel, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
now that your gimmick as no, let's start from RT 2.0 then transitioning to Cali Nueva.
yes.
How how did you conceptualize Cali Nueva?
Yeah, so back when I was starting training, Red saw me more of a heel
Mm.
because according to them back then, I had more of uh, I had a punchable face back then, and maybe even now, if I become heel, I could still be play that part.
I
But
don't know. I don't know.
no, no, I mean, if you see me turn up as a heel,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
But I started as a heel then, and in that part of the story, um, Ralph, um, I ended up as Ralph's tag team partner.
Mm.
But what he didn't know is that uh, I would be debuting as Cali Nueva and not RT.
Mm.
And that's when Red gave me the go signal to debut as that character instead of the PA character.
Mm.
So in terms of the origins of Cali Nueva, it's really just me dialed up to 12.
Times 12.
For
Yeah.
most of the wrestlers,
Mm.
it's really their personality dialed up because it's easy to play a character when who that character is.
Mm.
In essence, you know who you are, right? So I love indie films. I love art. I love music. I love self-expression. I'm an artist. So I took everything that I love and just combined it into one character. And that's what you see right now. It's just basically an amplification of who I am in real life.
Wow. Nice. And you know what? You have one of the catchiest intros for in FPW. So,
Yes.
Sweden,
Yes.
by SOS, right?
By SOS. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I love that song.
Yeah. Me too. I was really hooked with that song when I first hear it as your entrance theme.
Yeah.
When you debuted as Cali Nueva, I still
Yeah.
remember it. And then I'm trying to look for it, but I wasn't able to. But lately, I was able to uh, search for it on Spotify and also on YouTube Music. And yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it was really hooked, and I was really hooked about that music, and I'm really really listening to it as one of my go-to music.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how were you able to that it get it as your entrance theme?
Yeah, of course. Like every wrestler, as
Mm,
they start to develop their gimmick,
mm,
of course, their entrance music
mm,
is a huge part of their character. Like it's the first thing that an audience member will
mm.
hear
Yes.
of you before you even walk out the curtain, right? So
Yep.
it's an important part of who you are, what your gimmick is, and so I was trying to look for music, and I even have a playlist on Spotify that I can maybe share with you eventually.
Yep.
But eventually, I chanced upon Sweden by Sauce, and I didn't even know that they were like a local band
Mm.
back then. Um, but I heard the music, and then I dug through their album, and I figured out that Sweden was like the perfect one for Cali Nueva.
Yeah.
So once I found out that they were a local band, I reached out to the lead vocalist, si Senya, Roberto Senya,
Mm.
on Twitter, I think, and I asked him, um, could I use their music? And luckily, he's actually a huge local wrestling fan, a huge wrestling fan.
Oh.
And so he was like, sure, you can use it. And, that was pretty much it. And I've been using it ever since. And, actually, fun fact about that, I don't listen to that song anymore because, not because I'm sick of it,
Mm.
it's because I want a reserved feeling hyped
Mm.
for before when I listen to it when I'm behind that curtain just about to exit, like I am Cali Nueva is activated, the person who I am in real life
Mm.
is put aside, Cali Nueva is activated. So every time I hear that, like it's like a sleeper agent awakened. So I listen to it only when I'm coming out for wrestling.
Yeah, it's a good hype song for
Yeah.
yeah, every wrestling theme, entrance theme should be a hype song. So
Yes,
of course it
exactly.
yeah,
And it should tell the story of your character, which I think it does a good job with Kalineva.
of course. I think yeah, the entrance theme really reflects Cali Nueva and how he uses the wrestling canvas as his uh yeah, canvas for his
Yes,
masterpiece.
yes, exactly. The ring is my canvas, and like paint or whatever is my paint.
Yeah.
And I just want to create a masterpiece, and
Yeah.
that's part of how I get myself into that mentality.
Yeah. And let's go back at some point in your early career. Uh I mentioned that you were art RT 2.0 when you were starting then Cali Nueva. Then you also have some notable rivalries with in PWR way before, and I think one of the most memorable rivalries that you have were against the Naughty Boys.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
It's
I think.
it's crazy it's weird to say that they were my rivals back then.
Yes, yes, yes. So,
Yeah, they were my rivals back then. Yeah, yeah.
so can you uh get us through how your rivalry with the Naughty Boys developed.
Yeah, behind the scenes, I became really good friends with them, with Evan, with Gemerlin, with Trian, and so we found ourselves hanging out a lot more.
Mm.
That meant we had more chemistry in the ring,
Yeah.
and so even if I wasn't part of their group, I could still um, give good performances, with them.
Mm.
Because, like I said, I was the heel with the punchable face then,
Mm.
and that's perfect for the super baby face group of the Naughty Boys because back then they were like cheered. They were back then they were supposed to be heel, but they were
Yeah.
just cheered all throughout,
Yeah, of course.
and like they
Because
became face organically.
yeah,
Yeah.
because their dynamic their I think their dynamics inside the ring is very much uh contagious.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
I
Their
think
energy.
yeah. And then when they do this, the
Yeah, yeah,
nice,
yeah.
nice,
Legendary.
legendary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then eventually you became part of the Naughty Boys.
Yeah, that was a huge swerve because I became part of them in a 5v5 match.
Mm.
They were looking for a fifth member, and I happened to be um, that fifth man for them.
Mm.
And yeah, that was basically a fulfillment of like the I guess the long term planning of me eventually being part of them,
Mm.
because that whole program started um, with them wanting to um, bring me in to the group.
Mm.
So and eventually it worked out. Yeah.
Yeah. And which carried over to now
Yes.
FPW.
Yeah,
So
and actually, I'm not quite sure. I mean, sure, the hardcore fans would know
mm.
about the Naughty Boys, but it's not explicitly told as a story in FPW. So
Mm.
there's still potential to tell that story,
Mm.
because to someone who just joined the FPW fan base, when we started, they do not know that history, and there's very little information about it online except for podcasts like this and other
Yes.
articles. So I'm really excited to maybe one day tell that story as well, of maybe the revival of the Naughty Boys or something like that.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm also yeah. So that means that it's a tease of someone from the Naughty previous stable of the Naughty Boys to come back in the
Maybe
FPW.
keep watching
Yeah,
and maybe you'll find out. Yeah.
yeah, I'm always watching.
Yes, I know you're always in the shows.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. Yeah.
Sometimes I'm not, but but yeah, being faithfully attending the shows, watching it because
Oh yeah.
it's one of my way of supporting our local wrestling scene. Yeah.
And we appreciate that for all the regulars that come to our shows,
Mm.
and we have a certain set of faces that we always see in the at the meet and greets, and you're
Mm.
one of them. So thank you so much for your patronage
Oh.
for the company.
Thank you for the acknowledgement, and also thank you for the how is it? Thank you for the friendship.
Yeah, yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
because I think it's uh essential the hmm, for the promotion to have this kind
Yes.
of relationship with the fans. And
And even the local scene in general,
mm,
like
yes,
not just one promotion.
of
Yeah.
course, of course.
Yeah.
I'm not exclusively watching FPW. I'm also
Yes, of
somewhere.
course. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, no, it's probably you can mention them. Like
FPW.
a win for Puso is a win for FPW. It's like
Yes. Mm,
we
true.
raise each other up. Yeah.
Of course. And also WW and other Dexcon
Yes, yes,
and
yes,
and also
exactly.
yeah I also want to commend you compliment your shirt. Wrestle Paso.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Castle Paso. I like their designs
Yeah.
so much. And actually, this is one of the moves that I tried on Darius
Oh.
during that last week's show. I modified octopus hold, so
Mm,
it's one of my favorite shirts
yeah.
actually.
Oh, so can we now tell about the secret show?
Yeah, 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 yeah. The secret show. I love that segue. Yeah. But yeah, the secret show.
Yeah,
Um,
how did you come up with it?
Oh yeah, this one was an initiative. You know, this is a
Mm,
kayfabe free podcast, so I'm
mm,
going to talk about this anyway.
okay.
This was an initiative by the YOLO twins.
Oh.
They were behind everything. They were the mastermind. They set up the entire thing.
Mm,
You know, um, and people in the company just helped out, but it was mostly them.
mm.
So props to them. Shout out to the YOLO twins
Yeah,
for
shout out
you
to
know
Johan and
for
Logan.
for a very successful show.
Yeah.
Um, Basically, they saw an opportunity to stage shows where we train.
Mm,
That's just our training area, and like
mm,
before a month ago, we didn't even think this was possible. Um, and somehow, the twins were able to propose to Red that maybe we should try staging shows here where we train, and because we have the space for it and we have the
yeah.
chairs, we could
Mm,
just get a light set up, and maybe a sound system, um, and yet they were able to pull it off, and basically that's where we can get more reps as a wrestler.
mm,
Because I'm not sure if you know this, but like in the US independent scene,
mm.
I've talked to, because there are a lot of American wrestlers who train with us,
Oh.
and they tell us that in any given weekend there are like so many promotions in a weekend that you could wrestle for, like you could have easily four bookings in one weekend, maybe even eight if you count the Fridays. So a lot of these wrestlers, even if they're not wrestling for a long while, um, they get so many reps, and that means they get better faster.
Mm, yeah.
So when you get those reps, it helps your coordination. You know how to interact with the crowd,
Mm,
and it gets rid of your jitters, so
mm,
to speak, when it comes to performing in front of an audience, seeing what works. Like how stand-up comedians, how they have open mics to
yeah.
test out new material, right?
Yep, yep.
So that's what we want the secret show to be, is to be something that we can produce fairly cheap,
Mm,
and maybe no promises here, but we want it to be like twice a month, something like that,
mm,
that we can just stage. It doesn't matter if a lot of people come or maybe just 10, 15 people come, but we can do it in front of a crowd, and we can get our reps and improve rapidly because of that. So that's what the secret show is for.
Yeah, and I want to congratulate FPW because of this of your successful secret show. It was meant to be secret, but
Yeah. Nah.
a lot of
Well,
people were able to
yeah. No, it's secret, quote unquote.
quote unquote.
But we call it the secret because somehow along the way we called that uh, place the secret base,
Mm,
because I guess we didn't want anybody to know where that was for security purposes. But now that security is much better, we still call it the secret base. But on as a play on words, we still call it the secret base or the secret show. And it's kind of still secret because um, we only advertise specifically to the Facebook community.
mm,
So if you notice, we never posted anything aside from a teaser in the public social media page.
yeah.
We only do it in our Facebook community, and it's our way to reward those who have joined our community, and people like you are who are more engaged with the company in general.
Yeah, and also, it feels like it's a Saturday night main event.
Yeah. It's more intimate, right?
Yes, yes.
It's
Yeah, I
more,
can.
it's close up.
Yes, I can really feel the intensity of the crowd and also of the wrestlers in the
Yeah,
ring because it's very yeah, as you have said, it's very intimate, it's very close, and
yeah,
also how can I say, uh not that many people are attended, but
yeah.
considering that you are that the number of people you're expecting that the number of people would be small, but it
Yeah,
reached around 100 people.
I believe it was 111.
Yes.
But when we were just expecting around 55, so it doubled in size,
Yes.
which is amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw Duke and uh Duke Ortega and Mike Madrigal
bringing out the chairs.
bringing more chairs.
Yeah. We didn't expect. We only set up for 50 people, and then
Yeah.
we were like, "Oh my God, there's like 100 people there." So we just kept the because backstage
Mm.
they were still a bit dusty, the chairs, so we had to
Mm.
sanitize them.
Wow.
So backstage there was a whole thing of sanitizing the chairs,
Mm.
and then Duke and Mike were bringing out the chairs for all the newcomers there.
Yeah. And it also helped, I think, other wrestlers to, be mindful of their surroundings, because one disadvantage, I think one of the disadvantages of the
Yes,
secret
it
base
is a
is the
disadvantage.
low ceiling.
The low ceiling.
Yeah, and Sam Baltasar has become a victim
Yeah.
of it. But he was able to improvise
Yeah.
out of that situation. But yeah, I talked to Sam about it, and I praised his improv when he did that. And kudos to him, because he was to his quick thinking, because he was able to do that kind of stuff, and also to AB3, because they were able to come up with that kind of say this uh develop that kind of
A workaround.
workaround with
Yeah.
with what kind of surroundings that they have in the during the show. So yeah, kudos to them. Also
Yeah.
kudos.
About that, just a little bit about that. At first, as someone who wrestles with a more of a high flying style,
Mm,
when I first saw the secret base, of course, at first I was a bit disappointed because the ceiling was low. I couldn't
mm,
practice my springboards
mm,
unless I wanted to hit the ceiling like Sam.
mm,
Um, at first, it was a bummer, but at the same time, if you add limitations to your game,
yeah.
that's when you can learn how to think within the box and make that box look great.
Mm,
And that's one of the things that we wanna um, instill at a microscopic level in FBW. Like even despite the limitations, you can still produce great wrestling. And
mm.
that spot that was done there, that was a testament to how limitations can actually be entertaining as
Of
well.
course. Yeah. Can I just go back again to your PWR days, because I want to say this this memory that I have of you during PWR when homecoming happened, and you were sitting somewhere at the back watching the show. That was after your match. Uh,
Yes, yes,
I
the
was the
Doral.
I think I approached you and said you had a good match. I was
Mm,
I think if you
okay.
I hope you remembered it, but I was the one who approached you by that at that time. I think
My memory is really bad, so
yeah.
I kind of don't remember. But thank you
Of course.
for that.
I think
Yeah.
but I don't remember what match that you had you had at that time.
I had it with Ralph, and it was just
Yeah.
all a blur because like
Mm.
that was 1,000 people, so
Yes, yes,
it
yes.
was so many people.
Wow, that's one of the biggest local wrestling
Yeah.
events that happened in the
Oh
Philippines,
man.
and that was before the pandemic. Actually, the pandemic cut off the
Yeah.
momentum
Yeah,
of
we had so
our
much
local wrestling.
momentum. Like, imagine, and that's what we're still building towards right
Mm,
now. To reach that height again, because we've shown that it's possible,
mm,
and you know, we've shown that it could be done, and we're just working towards it little by little,
yes.
piece by piece. Yeah.
And I think with the help of those shows, the secret show at the secret base,
Yeah.
it I think a lot of people went there because a a lot of FPW fans or wrestling fans in general are also there are a lot of wrestling fans and at the northern part of Metro Manila,
Yes.
along
Yes,
Quezon
exactly.
City, Caloocan, Valenzuela, and that
Oh,
are
and
having a hard time of going to
Makati.
Makati, Circuit Makati,
Yes.
and
And another fun fact, actually, about Homecoming is that
mm,
one of the reasons we got so many people there
mm.
is I don't know if a few weeks or a few months before that event, there was a WWE event.
Yes,
Yes, remember that?
yep.
So right after that show, we gave away flyers to everybody,
Mm,
right? It's
yeah.
like we told them that
Yes, yes,
there
yes.
was a local wrestling scene here, and through enough, eventually when PWR Homecoming came, there were a lot of first timers there who watched because we handed out those
Mm,
flyers. So fingers crossed na there's gonna be another WWE event so we could do the same thing.
yeah, of course. I think people now are knowledgeable of the local wrestling scene because of course social media, and
Yes,
also some from MWF before they were they were dissolved. They were available at uh
on
on
TV.
TV. Yes.
Yes,
So I think
yeah, yeah,
it helped the local wrestling scene now to flourish and to be
exactly.
recognized by our fellow Filipinos.
Yeah, it's weird because on one hand you have social media and you can
Mm.
see how many people follow the local scene, but
Yes.
at the same time I personally have had office mates
Mm.
who are like, ay, may wrestling pala dito sa
Yeah.
Pinas,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
Like, even after all the advertising, there are still a lot of people who are wrestling fans who will happily watch the product, but it still just hasn't reached them.
Mm.
So hopefully eventually it's gonna be mainstream. It's gonna be like
Mm.
a given na alam ng tao na
Yep.
there's wrestling here
Yeah.
in the Philippines.
Yep. How about the possibility of, I think it's still far fetched to this at this moment, but how are you looking to have wrestling shows, say for example in Cebu, in Davao, other Philippine cities
Of
aside from Metro
course.
Manila?
Yeah, I mean, currently there aren't any plans, but that's the main goal.
Mm,
That's a never say never thing,
mm,
and it's actually not that far from reality as well.
mm,
If we continue to grow the scene, if everybody in the local scene continues to um, bring in fans,
mm,
there might be some times when we do a tour. Like
mm,
you saw it with again. I hate bringing up comedy so much, but
mm.
I learned so much, like observing Red and what he did for what he
Comedy
contributed
Manila.
to
Yep.
Comedy Badila, and
Mm,
um, they're able to do shows in Baguio, in Cebu, and that's a result of a decade of just hard work. It's
mm,
not just overnight success, right?
mm,
It's a decade of just no little small shows and just little notoriety or little fame, and eventually I hope and I feel like that's gonna be the future for pro wrestling as well. Maybe in 10 years,
yep.
you're gonna see like a similar surge in popularity.
Yep. We are hoping that it would
Yeah,
happen, and I think wrestling fans here in the Philippines would really love to have local shows in their own
yeah,
cities.
yeah. And in an ideal world,
Mm,
as a pro wrestler, like the Philippines is a huge place.
mm,
So in an ideal world, there would be promotions popping up in
yes.
different, like Baguio,
Mm,
like Cebu, Iloilo, Bacolod, and you could have a circuit that a pro wrestler can tour,
mm,
and eventually, like it could be actually a reasonable um, profession for a pro wrestler, I guess.
yep.
That's the ideal world because we have the geography for it, I guess.
Yeah.
It's all about the elements coming together to be in favor of pro wrestling and the local scene.
Mm. And I think because it's also a problem of logistics, and at the same time not having enough wrestling specific rings, because we
Yeah,
all I think we have a lot of boxing specific rings, but
yeah,
not wrestling
that's
specific.
very painful to bump in.
Yes.
No give at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, actually this company in Thailand. I'm not sure if you've heard about it. It's
Mm.
PSE.
Mm.
They actually perform at the bar, and their audience is basically uh, people at the bar.
Mm.
So that could be another avenue that the Filipino wrestling scene can imitate
Mm.
or go. Like it could be another attraction for the nightlife. So
Mm.
that's another approach that we can look into eventually.
Then other wrestling promotions in Southeast Asia, they just have this mat
Yes, yes, yes.
on the floor, and then audience will just be around the mat. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, but I don't know if how you could apply your uh
High
high
flying.
flying techniques there, but it's more
Yeah,
of a ground and pound approach,
yeah. I'll have to work on my submissions
and
maybe.
and grappling, so to
The
speak.
grab thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think yeah, let's transition from the secret show at the secret base. I think it's a good warm up for the upcoming FPW Astig, the first show of FPW Astig in 2025.
Yes, yes, yes.
And your opponent is none other than the man with the nuclear power bomb.
In his Tron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duke
Duke
Ortega.
Ortega. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's your first time having him as your opponent. So
yeah.
what can you expect of Duke Ortega, and what can Duke Ortega expect of you?
Yeah. I mean, Duke Ortega, he's uh he's a master of slams, a
Yes.
master of strikes, a master of just brute force.
Mm.
But I don't think there's anything in his head. He's a bit of a jughead. So, Duke, if you're hearing this, consider this an invitation in the ring, because when you face me in the ring, I'm going to teach you all about culture. I'm going to teach you all about style and
Mm.
how to make art in the ring, because, strikes and slams, they're cool, but like splashes and
Mm.
springboards and 619s, they're cooler. So,
Yeah.
people are in for a really interesting clash of styles.
Mm.
And I always love it
Mm.
when, a high flyer like me
Yeah.
faces someone like him, a powerhouse, a
Yes.
grappler. So it's an interesting match.
Mm.
And I'm going to come out on top. I
Oh,
promise you
of course.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But uh, are you prepared to be power slam the hell out of you?
Well, you can never prepare for that,
Just
but
yeah.
I'm prepared to reverse it.
Oh,
And I'm not going to tell my secrets to Duke. He
okay.
might be listening.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why I'm not asking you about your strategy.
No,
I'm
no,
just
no, no.
yeah. But I'm also asking it because you have experienced a similar situation with uh Boss Red when he did a body slam on you during the unfinished business. Yeah. How was it?
It was painful. Like it's literally just a split second, a half
Mm.
second of him on you, and you try your best to like brace yourself, but there's just no avoiding. He's
Yeah.
like 350 pounds. I don't know, like his whole weight on you. Um, it's just the things I do for professional wrestling.
Yeah. But
It's just
yeah,
painful.
yeah, true. Yeah, very painful. But I just want to commend or give kudos to uh Red Olero for, he was he had he's been he had a long layoff
Yes.
in doing professional wrestling before uh joining you and his cohorts for the unfinished business main event. So
Mhm.
it was, I think, wow,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. I
getting to
mean,
do.
kayfabe aside, it was a pretty safe splash. It was a
Mm,
pretty safe body slam, and which is a big thing, especially for someone who hasn't wrestled
mm,
in years. So, props to him. He's not just a great comedian; he's also a good wrestler.
great
So,
performer.
multi-talented man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost threw up saying that.
But
Yeah,
he was also, he recognizes also his limitations, because at the moment he knows that he's gasping for air. That's why he
yeah. He would tag out.
tag out and then
Yes,
go 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 to sit with the audience and watch the show.
yes,
Just the
yes,
match.
yes,
But
yes.
wow, I think one of the uh okay, say one of my criticisms of FPW before was that lack of stories and the storylines before. But now that FPW has been around for 3 years, right? 3 years,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
yeah.
2022, I
22, yeah,
believe. Yeah,
2022,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
For more to, I think now that uh, the the creatives have now a lot of are given opportunity to cook some storylines, and I'm looking and as what I have said to my fellow hosts here in the podcast, just let them cook about the
Yeah.
the storylines of FPW. And now, as what I am seeing, a lot of storylines now are being unfolded and being created. That's why really much excited to watch the shows, and
Yeah,
also looking forward to this upcoming show on March 23.
yeah, and thank you for the criticism about that because that's something we welcome as well as a we're still a small young company.
Mm.
So and admittedly in the beginning years your criticism was right, beginning months, because we were more focused on actually getting in ring shape
Mm.
back then. The pandemic happened
Yeah,
before
pandemic.
that,
Yes, yes.
so we didn't know what we were doing in the ring. Kind of forgot, so it was just us um trying to get our footing back. But yeah, like eventually, as people started getting more confident in the ring,
Mm.
and the skills started growing, we could focus more on the stories. And yeah, hopefully, we're producing great stories now for you guys.
Yeah, I think, yeah, as I said before, let let them cook. Let
Yes,
FPW cook, and now FPW is serving us a lot of, not just hot tea, but a lot of ice cream and some
yes,
dim
yes.
sum aside.
Lots of interesting new characters as
Yes. Oh
well.
yeah,
Like
of course. Yeah, we're also looking forward to the graduates of the academy.
yes, yes. That gives you more permutations on what stories you can tell in
Yeah.
the ring, if you add more characters. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we had a lot of we had talked about wrestling enough. Let's go to your more personal side. You're an artist, I guess. Yeah, of
Yes.
course. Yeah,
Yes.
by profession, I
Correct.
guess.
I do it on the side.
Mm.
By profession, I'm a social media specialist, or
Yeah.
I work in the digital marketing
Mm.
industry. But yeah, on the side, right now actually have commissions for several wrestlers. I'm
Oh.
designing their shirts, their logos, their ring gear. So, what the artistry that I have, I also give back to wrestling.
Oh yeah. But aren't you scared that you're going to injure your hand?
No, it's fine. I mean, I barely have moves that use the hand,
Mm.
unless I was thankful that Jana Vander didn't do the
Ah.
finger snap
Ah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But aside from that, I think um, my hands are pretty safe.
Mm. Well, good. Well, yeah, that's a good thing that you're considering your hand to protect your hands
Yes,
from
these are the
injuries.
money makers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are your influence? You have mentioned your in-ring influences like Rey Mysterio, Jeff Hardy. Yeah.
Yes.
But on your uh in terms of the art in the arts, who are your influences?
In
Who,
the arts.
yeah.
Yes. There's this one artist that I follow on Instagram.
Mm.
His name is Max Grec,
Mm.
Grecke, and he has the most outlandish caricatures of just character drawings
Mm.
that I love so much, because even with just one character drawing, he says so much and does so much.
Mm.
So if you and all the listeners have time to check out Max Grec, he's an amazing artist, and you're gonna see exactly why I idolize him.
Yeah. What's the spelling? I just want to look at
Okay,
his
you can
Instagram.
actually look at it right now for your live reaction, but
Yeah.
Max Grecke
Okay.
on
Max
Instagram.
C K yeah, CKE. Okay.
Yes,
Wow. Yo,
right?
yeah.
Like he
Ooh.
plays with the shapes so well. Like
Yeah.
he's drawing humans, but like the way he has a mastery of shape and form is just amazing, and just his imagination is something that I wanna eventually uh, reach as an artist.
Wow. It's very very distinct, and the his play on colors is very
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
very vibrant, and at the
So
same time,
much personality, no?
yeah.
Like the way he draws things is just, and he's not afraid to distort the face.
Mm,
Like it looks realistic, but at the same time, it's very cartoonish, and that's like a trademark of his style.
yeah. Yeah. Just one glance and yeah, that's Max Grec.
Yes, exactly. He
Yeah.
has a signature style. Then you know exactly that's Max
Mm.
Greg.
So, uh actually, my wife is also an artist, and
Oh,
what
she drew your stickers, right? I
yes,
still
yes,
have them.
yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
So I think I will recommend Max Greg to her, so she could
Yes.
have some reference of Max Greg, and how she could also develop her art.
Yeah.
But I think she's now developing her own style, and now that I think she's also going to plan her own graphic novel, so I'm looking forward to it.
Ooh, best of luck to her.
Yeah, yeah. Best of luck to my wife. Shout out to my
Yeah,
wife.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Aside from that, Kali, I know that you're also a fan of football.
Yes, I am
Uh,
so much.
of course.
Big fan. Like
Big fan.
wrestling and then football.
Football.
That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'm also a fan of football in general, but
Nice.
I'm more fan of the uh Philippine football team.
Yes. The
So,
Ascals, or at
ask
least they don't call themselves that
yeah,
anymore,
they
no?
don't call themselves as Ascals, no.
Yeah.
And also of the women's team. So, and you also do some of the women's team, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. During their peak during the Suzuki. Oh no, sorry.
no, for
The
World Cup.
AFF.
Yeah,
No, no, no.
AFF.
The AFF ASEAN Women's Track, when they won the whole thing.
Mm,
I was part of the Facebook group, and I was so inspired by their performances that
mm,
after every one of their matches, I would just draw,
mm.
and eventually it just reached the players. And I
Oh,
still have uh, players like who know
mm.
Cali Nueva, because Cali Nueva drew that certain drawing of theirs. So
Wow.
that's an awesome thing to have under my belt.
Yeah, I think you're becoming the bridge for other players to know local wrestling. And,
Oh yes, yes, yeah, exactly. And on the other hand as well, I'm also a bridge for the wrestlers on my Facebook page, or on my Facebook friends list.
mm,
I'm a bridge for them to know about football, because I'm the
mm.
only one in their social group who posts. Oh, except for Dax, actually, Dax as
Ah,
well.
mm,
He also posts about football, but I'm one of the bridges that
mm.
it updates them, like when the World Cup is, or like
Yeah,
when the Ascals are playing,
yeah.
or
But
all that.
you're also which team are you? So say for example, you're also into English Premier League,
Yes.
Bundesliga, J League.
Yes, I used to be like in the 2010s. I used to be super in it, as in I would watch the games of the EPL, the
Mm.
English Premier League, and my team is Chelsea.
Oh,
Because back then in 2010, the huge signing was Fernando Torres.
yeah.
He was signed by
Fernand-
Chelsea,
Mm.
and that's what made me like, oh shoot, Chelsea's gonna do well.
Mm.
And eventually they did win a Champions League because of
Mm.
Fernando Torres, right? Um, but yeah, my team is Chelsea, but I don't follow them as much anymore
Mm.
because my body clock. I'm 30 years old now, so by the time it's 9, I get sleepy.
Yeah.
Naantok na ako by then. So and the English games are like the earliest is 11, right?
Yeah.
So you can't really start watch them anymore. So Chelsea is one, and I'm actually planning to get more into the MLS,
Yeah.
the
MLS.
American one, because that league is more fitting to our schedule.
Yes.
Just like wrestling, yung mga games nila is at 9 a.m.
Mm-mm.
Until 1 p.m. So I'm still looking for a team to support there. So if you have a suggestion,
Inter
I'm look
Miami. If you
Inter
like,
Miami si Messi na.
if you like Messi.
Yeah. That's one of my choices. I'm also
Mm.
looking at Atlanta United
Mm.
because they've been actually really good recently. But yeah,
LA Galaxy. If
LA Galaxy.
or LAFC is doing well too.
Yes, exactly. I just love, I love the MLS and the
Mm.
US soccer scene in
Mm.
general because I feel like Philippines, we're just the little brother of the US that
Yes.
likes to hop onto the trends of the
Mm.
US.
Yes.
So if like I predict that in the 2026 World Cup, diba, that's in the US
Yeah.
and Mexico and Canada.
Mm.
When Filipinos see that Americans love soccer so much, it's gonna transition here, and
Yep.
then the local football scene is gonna enjoy another resurgence
Yeah.
that's
Hopefully.
separate from the national team. But like
Yes.
I feel like the US is a great blueprint for how we can introduce the game to
Mm.
Filipinos.
Yeah. I think one criticism that I have with the US system of US soccer system is they don't have
No
the
relegation. Yeah.
no relegation.
Yes.
The
Same thoughts. Same thoughts.
so I think they can just tank and tank, get
Oh
the
yeah.
best players, and then
I
uh,
mean, the best stories are told in the relegation zone,
yes,
right? Like
yes.
if they're fighting to survive, the games are even better. They could
Mm.
like the lowest tier teams can
Mm.
suddenly beat the Man Cities and the
Mm.
Manchester. Well, I was about to say Manchester United, but they're not so good now.
Yeah, they're
Well, they can beat the big teams because
mm.
they're desperate to win.
Yes.
And that's something that I feel like could be introduced to like even basketball teams.
Mm.
Like you could introduce a relegation, and the PBA could even be more interesting if they introduce that because there's more risk. There's more
Mm.
excitement, more drama
Yes. Actually, the relegation system is also being implemented in the B League,
in
Japan
the
B League.
B League in
Yeah,
Japan.
yeah. So they have the Japan B League 1, Japan B League 2. The B League 2 is the
Nice.
second tier. So they have this relegation promotion. I don't know if Philippines would the PBA would adapt it.
The stakeholders
Is
would not want
yeah,
that.
yeah, of course.
Yeah,
And because for first and foremost, PBA is a commercial league. It's
yeah,
not a
that's
regional
true.
league.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. We could. That's another. I'm not a basketball expert in
Mm.
any way, but like that's a can of worms that I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to open. That's
Yeah.
another world. Yeah.
Another world that we don't want to talk about as of now.
Yeah. But what about you? What's your favorite football team?
Me, yeah, I'm also a fan of Chelsea before.
Okay.
And then later on I have but I follow more of Bundesliga, so I'm more of
Mm,
a Bayern Munich fan.
Bayern.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
But
How's Kane doing, by the way? Like, is he scoring well now?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, okay,
I think
okay.
he's doing well in Germany with
Yeah,
Bayern
yeah.
Munich. But
Okay.
going back to EPL, yeah, Tottenham
Tottenham.
Hotspurs, I guess so. Uh, but now I'm not more excited for Wrexham. So
Wrexham. Me
yeah,
too. Me too. Me too.
Wrexham.
I love the whole thing that Ryan and
Yeah.
Rob are doing for the whole thing,
Mm.
and the fact that they're I'm gonna look it up right. I think they're third.
They are third. I need to
They're
check it.
about to be relegated for like the third. Oh well, last year they didn't get. I mean promoted. Sorry,
Mm.
they're about to be promoted again. And it's just they're third. So
Yeah, they're
like
third.
just 4 more points, and they could be second.
Mm.
I'm just excited. Like if anybody listening here,
Yeah.
you don't know what we're talking about. There's a documentary on Disney Plus called
Yeah.
"Welcome to Wrexham." You could watch it, and it's a great introduction into football.
Yes. And it's a good story to watch because, it's not just the football itself, it's the community and
Yes, it's
how
the town.
Ryan and Rob were able to reinvigorate the community through the football club because they recognize that the history of the football club is deeply rooted in the community. That's why they were able to, make uh, uh, get stories around the football club and also the people of
Yeah,
Wrexham.
and they're open about it being just a business, but at the
Yeah.
same time, you can tell that they're one of the owners, like
Mm.
among all the
Mm.
clubs in England, their owners are actually care about the club
Yeah,
and who are actually always there
they
for
have
the
the
club.
compassion for the
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. And even in the documentary, they're not afraid to talk the business side of
Mm.
things. They're of course, it's Hollywood money,
Mm.
so that would always be the criticism of Wrexham, but like
Yep.
you can tell that the owners actually care about the club.
Yep. And I think because it's a documentary, it's also a way for them to be transparent of how they
Yes.
spend their money for the
Yeah.
club. To,
And in the first season, I think that was their way of easing the anxieties of the
mm.
the fans, because
Mm.
in the first, like who the hell are who are they
Mm.
to buy the club from us.
Yes.
So that was successful for them,
Mm.
definitely.
Yeah. I'm also excited for if Wrexham would be promoted to the championship. I think it's a good match against Sutherland because Sutherland
Oh.
also has a very good story. Because I also watched Sutherland Till I Die on
Ah,
Netflix.
on Netflix. Okay,
Uh,
okay, okay. I need
and
to watch that. There are so many documentaries. Like there was one with Tottenham, with
mm,
Sunderland,
mm,
with Real Madrid, right?
yes,
There's so many.
very interesting. Also, there's also one documentary about the World Cup, previous World Cup, also available on Netflix.
The which one? Who won
Captains,
that one? Oh,
captains.
Argentina. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
captains.
Argentina. Okay, okay, okay. I'll watch that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we have discussed a lot of things with Cali Nueva. Before we go, I think Cali, you need to have some shoutouts.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yes. For everybody listening here, please do come watch us at our show at
Mm,
FBWS Dig
mm,
on March 23. That's a Sunday.
mm.
It's gonna be held at Big Studios, Makati. So that's Sunday, March 23.
Mm.
I will be facing Duke Ortega. It's gonna be a clash of styles, High
Yeah,
Flyer versus Powerhouse, and it's gonna be super amazing. I promise, and the rest of the card will be great as well.
yeah.
So I hope to see you guys there.
Yep, and also good luck to Kali, also to the other wrestlers of FPW to have a great show. Yeah, please remember FPW Astig live on March 23 at Big Studios. And can I say that Big Studios is a much better?
Oh, a much better play. It's like
Yes.
I was so anxious. Like, sorry, I feel we're about to end, but like, I just want to say
Yeah.
that I was so anxious when we moved from Power Mac to Big Studios because we were so familiar with Power Mac.
Mm.
But Big Studios is so much better in terms of the lighting and
Yes.
even how we record the episodes. You can see
Mm.
more of the crowd,
Yes.
so it's more of a it's a more complete
And
experience.
also your entrance, Titantrons. You can
Yeah,
really
we
see.
actually have a stage now.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah. Uh, Again, we would like to thank Cali Nueva for grazing our show. Hopefully, Cali would be back on our show for
sure.
other episodes. And
Maybe
yeah.
maybe after a heel turn. No,
Oh.
it's not gonna happen anytime soon. But yeah, that's the only way I could think. Like maybe that's when I could join again. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Let's
I
see.
digress.
Yeah. Again, yeah. Thank you again to Cali Nueva for uh being here in our episode. Okay. Before we end, I would like to shout out first my wife. Was also have been a fan of this show from start until now, and hopefully until forever and ever. Also uh to my friends also. Shout out also to Eugene, Mandy, and John, my uh, guest co-hosts here at the show. Also to my co-host who's on hiatus, Miguel. Hopefully you can come back. Of course you will. You will have just concentrate first on your uh, personal life. We'll just be here for you, supporting you, and also, yeah, to my parents as well, and to my college friends, and yeah, also to the listeners and watch viewers of this podcast. You can please like this video and also share this if you really liked it. Also comment on the down on the comment section if you like the video or you have other things to share. If you don't want to hear us, we're also I don't want to see our faces, you can also hear it on Spotify. And of course, don't forget to follow us on our socials. We have Facebook, Instagram, and Threads and TikTok. We don't have account on X or Twitter. So if everyone who received messages on Twitter with our social media name, it's not us. Maybe it's a
That
scammer.
happened
No, that maybe there will be a time.
hypothetically.
Hypothetically, yeah.
Okay, okay,
There will be
okay,
a time.
okay.
And with that, thank you again to Cali Nueva for being a guest of our show.
For having me.
Of course, it
I
was
have one last request.
of course. Yes.
Can you please blur my name, my real name,
Actually,
on the video?
yeah, actually now we're recording this via uh OBS Studio.
OBS. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I
I just realized it.
yeah, I have here I already set up it
An
here,
overlay.
yeah, on overlay.
Okay,
Yeah, so
okay,
it's
okay.
already covered.
Thank
So
you.
you'll never be doxed.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
Okay. Again, yeah, thank you again very much to Cali Nueva. And with that, we end our show. And that's our episode for today. Thank you very much again. I'm Jomar together with Cali Nueva, and we are Geeks Out of Nowhere. Thank you again, Cali. Hope to see you.
Bye.
Bye.